Ciryl Gane vs Alexander Volkov. Ciryl Gane looks to add a victory to his career total of 8-0-0. The 31-year-old steps on the scale at 245 pounds and measures in at 6 feet 4 inches. The Orthodox fighter extends his reach 81 inches. Alexander Volkov measures 6 feet 7 inches and steps on the scale at 250 pounds. The Orthodox fighter looks to add a win to his record of 33-8-0. The 32-year-old has a reach of 80 inches. Concerning significant strikes, Ciryl Gane connects on 5.04 per minute while Alexander Volkov is landing 4.88 significant strikes per minute. Gane connects on 55% of the significant strikes he throws and Volkov lands 59%. When it comes to defending in the octagon, Gane absorbs 1.85 significant strikes per minute while Drago takes 2.48. Gane also curbs 69% of the significant strikes that are directed at him while Volkov thwarts 56% of the shots thrown. The main event at UFC Fight Night 190 will see Ciryl Gane take on Alexander Volkov. This will be a fight in the UFC heavyweight division. Gane comes into this fight with an MMA record of 8-0. He is 5-0 in the UFC, most recently beating Jaynes Rosenstruck by unanimous decision back in February of this year. Gane is averaging 5.04 significant strikes per minute and has a striking accuracy of 55%. More impressively, he is absorbing just 1.69 strikes and has a striking defense of 69%. Gane is also a decent grappler, averaging 1.13 takedowns per every 15 minutes. His takedown accuracy is only 26%, but his takedown defense is 100%. In his last appearance in the octagon, Ciryl Gane went up against Jaynes Rosenstruck and wound up getting the win by unanimous decision in round 5. Rosenstruck ended up landing 49 of 111 of the strikes he threw in total in this fight. Gane ended the night having landed 128 of 202 total strikes. In terms of significant strikes, Rosenstruck landed 42 of 104, which gave him a rate of 40%. He ended up landing 14 of 69 significant strikes directed at the head. In terms of stats for the opponent, Gane landed 57% of his significant strikes by connecting on 102 of 176. Of all the significant strikes, he connected on 33 of 83 pointed at the head. 90% of the significant strikes connected on by Rosenstruck and 96% of them landed by Gane were done at a distance. In the last fight for Alexander Volkov, he squared up with Emeev and wound up taking home the victory via a punch to the head in round 2. Emeev ended up landing 100% of the significant strikes he attempted at distance and Volkov ended up landing 74% of the significant strikes he tried at a distance. Volkov connected on 61% of his significant strikes attempted by connecting on 54 of 88. He ended up connecting on 47 of 81 significant strikes to the head. Emeev ended up connecting on 10 of 20 significant strikes in that battle. In terms of accuracy for the significant strikes, my betting advice is to pick Ciryl Gane, minus 175. Rosa vs Jaynes. Charles Boston Strong Rosa comes into this fight holding a mark of 13-5-0. The 34-year-old will fight at 145 pounds and comes in at 5 feet 9 inches. The switch fighter has a wingspan of 69 inches. Justin the Guitar Hero Jaynes stands 5 feet 7 inches and is weighing in at 155 pounds. The Orthodox fighter looks to add a win to his career record of 16-7-0. The 31-year-old has a reach of 68 inches. Concerning significant strikes, Rosa connects on 3.11 per minute and Justin Jaynes connects on 3.58 significant strikes per minute. Rosa is landing 37% of the significant strikes he attempts and Jaynes is connecting on 42%. Concerning the fighter's defense, Boston Strong absorbs 3.78 significant strikes per minute and the Guitar Hero absorbs 6.49. Rosa also defends against 48% of the significant strikes his opponents attempt, while Jaynes is able to defend against 58% of the shots thrown in his direction. The second fight at UFC Fight Night 190 will see Ciryl Rosa take on Jaynes. This will be a fight in the UFC featherweight division. Rosa comes into this fight with an MMA record of 13-5. He is 4-5 in the UFC, most recently losing to Darrick Minner. This was a loss by unanimous decision and came back in February of this year. Rosa is averaging 3.11 significant strikes per minute, but only landing them 37% of the time. He is absorbing 3.78 strikes and has a striking defense of 48%. Rosa will look to take this fight to the ground, where he is averaging 1.76 takedowns per every 15 minutes. He has a takedown accuracy of 32% and a takedown defense of 40%. In his previous fight, Ciryl Rosa faced Darrick Minner and was defeated via unanimous decision in round 3. Minner ended up landing 96 of 117 total strikes attempted in that fight. Rosa finished this fight landing 40 of 51 total strikes. In regard to significant strikes, Minner landed 45 of 60, which means his percentage was 75%. He finished the fight landing 35 of 49 significant strikes aimed at the head. On the other side, Rosa landed 60% of the significant strikes he threw by landing 15 of 25. Of those significant strikes, he landed 9 of 17 pointed at the head. 46% of the significant strikes landed by Minner and 53% of them connected on by Rosa were thrown at distance. In the last fight for Jaynes, he fought Devonta Smith and wound up taking the loss via TKO via a doctor's stoppage in round 2. Smith landed 61% of the significant strikes he took from distance, and Jaynes ended up connecting on 90% of the significant strikes he tried at a distance. Jaynes landed 40% of his significant strikes attempted by landing 11 of 27. He connected on 6 of 21 significant strikes to the head. Smith ended up connecting on 34 of 65 significant strikes in that fight. Of those significant strikes, he landed 25 of 54 to the head. My betting advice is to pick Ciryl Rosa, minus 175. Warlley Alves vs Ramazan Emeev. Warlley Alves steps into the octagon with a mark of 15-4-0. The 30-year-old steps on the scale at 170 pounds and comes in at 5 feet 11 inches. The orthodox fighter extends his reach 72 inches. Ramazan Emeev measures 5 feet 10 inches and tips the scales at 170 pounds. The southpaw fighter comes into this bout with a record of 24-0. The 34-year-old stretches 76 inches. In terms of significant strikes, Warlley Alves is landing 3.09 per minute and Ramazan Emeev is landing 2.50 significant strikes per minute. Alves lands 47% of the significant strikes he tries, while Emeev is landing 45%. Regarding defending in the octagon, Alves allows 3.62 significant strikes per minute and Goretz absorbs 1.98. Alves also stops 50% of the significant strikes that are aimed in his direction, while Emeev is able to defend against 66% of the shots thrown in his direction. The fifth fight at UFC Fight Night 190 will see Warlley Alves take on Jeremiah Wells. This will be a fight in the UFC welterweight division. Alves comes into this fight with an MMA record of 15-4. He is 8-4 in the UFC, most recently beating Monir Laz by TKO back in January of this year. Alves is averaging 3.09 significant strikes per minute and has a striking accuracy of 47%. He is absorbing 3.62 strikes and has a striking defense of 50%. His grappling is also pretty good, averaging 1.48 takedowns per every 15 minutes. His takedown accuracy is 54% and his takedown defense is 75%. In his previous bout, Warlley Alves squared up with Mounir Laz and wound up taking home the victory by a kick to the body in round 1. Laz ended up landing 2 of 2 total strikes that he let go in that fight. Alves walked away from this fight having landed 24 of 30 total strikes. In terms of significant strikes, Laz landed 2 of 2, which means his percentage was 100%. He ended up landing 1 of 1 significant strikes directed at the head. In terms of stats for the opponent, Alves landed 80% of his significant strikes by sticking 17 of 21. Out of those significant strikes, he was 9 of 12 pointed at the head. 41% of the strikes thrown landed by Alves were thrown at distance. In the last bout for Ramazan Emeev, he went up against David Zawada and wound up getting the win by way of split decision in round 3. Zawada ended up connecting on 68% of the significant strikes he took from distance, and Emeev landed 67% of the significant strikes he attempted from distance. Emeev connected on 52% of the significant strikes he attempted by landing 53 of 101. He ended up connecting on 36 of 81 significant strikes aimed at the head. Zawada ended up landing 44 of 114 significant strikes in that contest. Looking at the significant strike accuracy, he ended up connecting on 24 of 88 directed at the head. In relation to the total strikes thrown in this fight, Zawada ended up connecting on 114 of 190 and Emeev ended up landing 101 of 160 total strikes. My betting advice is to Warlley Alves, plus 110.